Well, hello folks, I'm Eli Little and this is today's short take. One of the hardest things to do with, investing in drug companies is to make sense of all the various, drug trials when they're coming up. It's almost like earnings. You just have to watch them all the time. You have to know what's on the calendar. You have to know where the risk is, or you simply have to have very thick skin. I'm looking at Eli Lilly, for example. Yesterday it gets hit, volume expands down to the bottom of the range. You got 3 swing point lows here that if they break, right, it's going to signal this thing's going to drop probably another good piece, and we can actually look at how far that may be if we pull back the chart and take a look at it over here on the weekly. Another swing point low sitting here. You break those, you're underneath this one. There's really nothing here. And then what do you have? Well, if you go to the classical TA, you kind of have that head and shoulders top type thing going on, right? Where it's shoulder over here, head up there, and eventually another shoulder maybe forms over in this space. So many of the stocks that we're looking at have the same pattern over and over. You see it all over the place. This is not a bullish pattern that we're seeing develop in most of these stocks. They go up, they flatten out, and then they start down. And you get this topping pattern taking place over and over, not just on the general markets, not on just the sectors, but in all the stocks as well, which, as it should be, drive those other things. So what we're seeing here in Eli Lilly is what we're seeing in a lot of places, although here we had a company-specific thing. But we're seeing the same thing over and over, and that is that you're getting this topping pattern take place. And that topping pattern has been a long march higher, some sort of a rounding top, right? Eventually a bounce. That's where we are at on most things. And then eventually another further decline after that. If it plays out this way, this market really is topping, and what we're seeing is the top being formed. A little too early still to say that, but you have to take and look at the probabilities and ask yourself, is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk that this stock comes back and makes new highs versus the risk that it comes all the way back down here and starts breaking a bunch of swing point lows? If I look at it on a very long-term time frame, this thing has had a huge march top side, a pullback to bring you back to a retest regen off a bullish move is huge. $58. Not saying it's going there, but I'm saying at some point when this thing turns, the targets become very low, and that's true here and it's true in a bunch of places. That's today's short take.